G'day, guys. Welcome to episode 52 of Beyond the Finish Line podcast, the podcast for runners at every pace, every distance, and every goal. My name is Matt, aka Coach Matt. I'm a multiple-time Ironman and ultramarathon runner. I'm also the head coach and founder of the Performance Project, Australia's fastest growing endurance community. If you're looking for one-on-one endurance coaching in 2026, come hit us up. We're the best in the biz. Now, introducing my co-host. She is maybe the best running content creator in Sydney at the moment. She's worked for brands like ASICS. She's worked for Nike. She's worked for Sydney Marathon. She is also the fastest marathon runner on this podcast, and she's soon to be a mum. Georgia, how you doing, mate?
Hi, I'm very good, Matt.
Oh, you're
Thank
also
you
my
so
business
much.
partner in the Performance Project. She's head of
Yeah.
community, head of brand. Georgia, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you, Matt. I was just telling you that in the morning, we're recording in the morning today. And yeah, one of my weird pregnancy things is like I just get so I can't talk in the morning. So it should be interesting. So if I cough a little bit, I'm so sorry,
If it
guys.
just goes silent, Georgia
Yeah.
is just having a moment.
So yeah, no, I'm feeling really good. I had a really good week last week. So yeah, we're on the up, which is great. Yeah, it's been a great couple of days. How about you? How are you?
Yeah, doing good, mate. Back into some sort of 16 weeks out from UTA and ready to lock in and kind of, I think it's time that I go all in on a race again. So I'm kind of ready to go into like crazy mode again.
You've had enough time off to kind of decompress, and now you're like, I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, and I didn't really go all in for Cozzy. Like that was because we had so much stuff with the Performance Project going on. So I think we've just put on a new coach. My workload's decreased a little bit. It's sort of hitting its stride. So I've got a little bit more capacity where I can let out some mental energy on training.
How good. Now tell me, what are your highs and lows of the past week of training?
Oh, first trail run back, which
Yep.
was, I mean, love being out on the trails, but rough as guts. We went away for the weekend for Sam's birthday. So we went out to this place called Cabin in the Clouds. It's like kind of rural, maybe like an hour from where we are, sort of west. And there's some good trail running up there. So we went trail running for Sam's birthday, which was good.
Nice.
Yeah, and just had a weekend away. There was no phone reception, which took a little bit getting used to, considering how much I'm dependent on it. But yeah, they were all the highs. Lows, the little snag dog, he's having some issues with his back, so that's been a little bit upsetting, but he'll be all good. And then other than that, no complaints.
No complaints. You spoke about this week that you were having a there's that thing again. And I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, but you
Go
spoke
for
on
it.
your Instagram this week about having a bit of mental health troubles. How are you feeling? How's things going? You know, how does it feel when you put that kind of stuff up online?
Yeah, I always, and this is maybe, I feel like this is the best way for me to do it, is I always put those videos up when I'm sort of on the back end of it, and I feel like I'm coming out of the slump because
Yeah.
the way my brain works is until I understand what is going on, I can't fix it.
Uh-huh.
I can't just, sit around and feel sorry for myself and one day I feel good. It's just like I've got to actually actively work out what the trigger was and go back and like reverse engineer it. So normally when people see those videos, I'm on the up and out of it. So
Yeah.
if you listened to me last week, I was probably a little bit more down than I am this week, just in terms of energy. But yeah, doing good. And like I always say, everyone always messages me going, "You're so brave to put that stuff out on social media, or courageous or whatever." I'm like, if me being uncomfortable for 3 minutes or being vulnerable for 3 minutes helps one person ask for help, change their life, save their life, make them feel less awkward, alone, whatever, then it is 3 minutes well spent. So it's a very, very small ask for me to do that to help someone else.
Yeah, and by you talking about it online might give someone the courage to talk about it with like their best mate.
Exactly that. Yeah. If I can
Yeah.
put it out to a bunch of strangers, then you should be able to talk to your mate, your partner, brother, sister, whatever.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad you're on the up, and it's always nice to see when you're feeling a bit better. yeah, I knew something was going on, but I was like, okay, I know Matt. I got to just leave him alone. Just
Yeah.
check everything's okay, and then
Georgia
leave him
messaged
alone.
me, said welfare check, and I just left her on red.
That's a little thing that I do with my girlfriends when we haven't heard from each other in a while, or one of us isn't replying. One of us will just say welfare check, and we kind of know that that's the like SOS. Are you okay? Please just tell me you're okay. Matt didn't reply, but again, he doesn't know what welfare check is, so fair call. Now
I was
he
like,
knows.
I read it. She knows I'm alive.
Yeah, I could see the 2 blue ticks. It's fine. He's not dead. He's good. But yeah, that's a little tip for you guys. If you, I don't know, if some of your friends sometimes just drop off the face of the earth, sometimes it's nice just to do a little welfare check. And again, I guess they just know then that you're thinking of them. And sometimes it's a nice little reminder to check in.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Do you know what's wild, Georgia?
What?
What is it? It's Tuesday. In like 5 days, you were meant to do your first triathlon.
I know. It's so sad. I've got so much FOMO. Yeah, even the other day I was like, I could probably do it. You idiot, Georgia. You can't even run 5K at the moment. Well, I can, but it's like,
I know what you mean, yeah.
You definitely couldn't do it, Georgia.
Yep.
Oh, it's such a bad like habit to be in when you just like, fuck it, I'm just going to go do it. Like last night, I saw someone had done a half marathon. I was like, I could sign up for a half marathon. Just completely forgetting.
Yeah. You're just so delusional of reality. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think we
delusional.
all go through that.
Yeah, I know. So I'm feeling a bit sad about that.
It's like when after COSI, I was convinced I was going to do Ironman New Zealand, the full distance. And I'm like, I could do it 100%. And I hadn't trained triathlon in 6 months. And I got in the pool and I swam like 200 meters. I was like, definitely couldn't. I would die.
And no, there goes that.
Yeah, there goes reality. What about you, Georgia? Highs and lows other than the triathlon?
Yeah, other than the triathlon, it was my birthday last week, as you guys know from
happy birthday.
Thank you. As you guys know from
Sam
our
told me to
past...
message you too. Shit.
You know what? I was like, nah, I'm not surprised. Look, I didn't message Sam for her birthday because you didn't tell me when it was exactly.
It hasn't been yet. It's the 30th or 30th.
Good. I didn't miss. I hate missing birthdays. It's like I hate it.
You don't know when mine is.
No, I don't. But I had a really good week. It was my birthday on Friday. So, I had a really nice day. Even though I spent it alone at work, everyone online kept me company, which was quite nice. Just constantly getting messages all day and, family calling and stuff like that. But I went out to dinner. It was really nice. And, what else? I've just been plodding along. I had to film something the other day, so I didn't really feel like going for a run, so I just went for a walk, which was really nice. So I'm kind of
Walks
learning.
Are so underrated.
Yeah, they totally are. It was really nice. I got a nice coffee. So I was filming something for the Cancer Council, and so it was nice to get outside and go for a walk, and I'm just learning to take it slow. I went for a run with a friend during the week, and we just took it nice and slow. So that's kind of, that was my week. I'm not training for anything. As you guys know, I'm not doing the triathlon, which is sad, but what do you do? So I'm just learning to just take a step back and see what this new chapter is all about. So but as I said, this week's meant to be really good. So I'm going to hopefully go for a ride. I'm going to go with a friend, and she knows that I just have to take it easy. So I'm so scared about falling off the bike. So I'll see how I go. If this week I'm still really scared on the bike, there's no point. I'll just give it a bit of a rest. So but the belly's getting in the way a little bit too, and I just look a bit chubby in my cycling stuff.
There's the real reason, guys.
Yeah. No, it was really hard to hide on the bike before because the freaking Lycra shows everything. Like at least running shorts, they're black and I can pretty much suck everything in.
Yeah.
Whereas anyway, now I don't have to hide it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. You're in the clear now.
In the clear. But today we're doing episode 52, and today we thought we would reintroduce ourselves because we actually haven't done this since episode 1 of Beyond the Finish Line. And so today, guys, we are going to start with Coach Matt. And
Georgia, before we do this, can Can
He
I
always
just?
throws in random
I know,
stuff
no,
that I've got
because
no
like
idea.
it's my ADHD. I'm just fucking.
Yeah, go.
We were meant to do this last week, but in the lead up to our last episode of 2025, we
Oh.
said, and guys, this is just break your heart stuff, so buckle up. We said we wanted to do 50 episodes for the year, 50,000 downloads at, I think it was like 11 o'clock on New Year's Eve. We hit 49,997. That's where we finished the year on. We finished 3 short. So it wasn't awesome, but we crushed it. We're well over 50,000 now. So thank you to everyone who shared, liked the podcast, done all the things. It was a pretty big year. So I just wanted to, people might have forgot about that, but we did a big campaign to hit 50,000 for 50 episodes.
Yeah, I think it was like 8 p.m. I put up a story to be like, guys, like help us. We're so close. We were, I think, not far off. It was like probably 50 downloads off. And everyone I knew was like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm going to share it. And everyone was listening. Any that they'd missed, they're like, oh, I'll listen, like, you know, trying to get to it. But it was pretty funny waking up the next morning. Matt was like, you're joking. And
I would have rather missed by 200. Cool.
No, see, I think missing by 3 is just like, you know what? That's basically the whole way there. Doesn't matter.
Though. That's the problem. It's like losing the 100-meter final by 0.1 of a second. It's just like, I would have rather come last.
Yeah, I guess. I was just so proud of us that I was just like, oh, well.
Awesome achievement. Don't get me wrong, but I just mean in regards to the 50,000, I was like, fuck.
It is devastating. 3 away sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Anyway, as I was saying, we are going to get into Matt's story about how he got into endurance sport. A little bit of a disclaimer here, guys, and a bit of a trigger warning. Matt's story does come with some darker themes. There are some themes of alcohol and drug abuse. There are themes of suicide and all of that sort of stuff. So please, if that is a trigger for you, please probably don't listen to this episode, or, you know, come back when you're in a good space to listen. We just want to make sure you guys know that before listening. It is a fantastic story and there's some awesome questions here that we think you're going to get a lot out of. But again, we just want to make sure you're well aware of this before we get into it. Sound like a plan?
Love it.
Love it. Okay, Matt. Well, last time we basically just got you to talk about your story. And while we love that, we want to protect your voice a little bit because no one needs to hear you for 50 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we have some questions here for you. I say we like it's a team. It's me. I have some questions for you.
Yeah. Georgia runs the show.
No. All right, cool. So let's get into them. So it says here, who were you before endurance sport and why did the kitchen feel like the right place for you back then? So do you want to let everyone know what that means, but in terms of the kitchen, and then, who were you back then?
Yeah, I was a chef. I started cooking professionally at 14, so I started my apprenticeship at 14. And it was the first place outside of sports where I was like, oh, I'm really good at this. So before that, I was the kid at school, like it didn't matter what sport, I would just make the school team, make the district team, and I didn't have to train, didn't have to try. And then by the time I got to 13, 14, the people who were training hard overtook me and I didn't understand that I could train and get better. I just thought like, this is the skill set I have and that's as good as I'm going to be. And then I was like, cool, so sports aren't for me. I'm not going to go pro. So I need to find something else. Did work experience at school, got a job at a kitchen. And then I was like, oh, I'm good at this. Like it was the same feeling, but in cooking that I had for sports. So yeah, became a chef. Worked in some of the best restaurants in the world. Worked for Gordon Ramsay. Worked for Raymond Blanc. Worked in the best restaurant in the world in Italy, Osteria Francescana. Worked in Paris. Worked all over the place.
So cool. Like, I always forget this part of your story that you're actually an incredible chef because now you don't like cooking as much because
I will do anything not to cook.
Yeah. Which is so interesting. And 14 is such a young age to be starting an apprenticeship, I feel. Why 14? Why, most people maybe would start at 16, I'd say, or is it even later?
It's 16's like early, like 16's like a year 10. I think we could leave then. I just because it's a little bit different because restaurants are open at night, so I could work after school. I went in, did work experience. They're like, oh, have a job washing dishes. And then I
Yeah.
did that, and then within like 2 weeks, I was on like it's called larder, but it's like the salad section. I was doing
Yeah.
that, and then within a month, they were like, "Oh, you're fucking really good at this. You just like got the natural touch." So they
Right.
just offered me a job, and I would just do my hours at night and work a
Okay.
Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah.
And my plan was always to leave school at 16. I'd be like, "Cool, got a 2-year head start, going to do that." Um, but mum made me finish year 11 and 12. So I was working like 40, 50 hours a week plus doing year 11 and
School.
12. Yeah, plus doing
Wow.
school, yeah.
That's a lot.
It was, yeah, but like I just, you know what my brain is like. Like once I am all in on something, like it just
Yeah.
doesn't matter. So like cooking was all I cared about. Like school was just, I would just go there to sleep basically. Like school was just, I didn't give a shit. I was like, I want to be out of here so bad.
Were you still doing sports all the way through, or do you at that point had you stopped
No,
doing sports?
I was still competing in martial arts because I still was like a rough chance of making the Olympic team. But I think that sort of petered out at maybe 15, 16. I was probably not getting selected for the New South Wales squad anymore. And then, yeah, then it was just all cooking 100% of the time.
Do you think if you had the mindset you have now, you would have made it further within the
Yeah,
sport that you
undoubtedly.
did?
Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
gone pro in something for sure. 100%.
Devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so
Not
interesting
devastating. It's
how
just like, it just is what it is.
I guess it's interesting how it works and how the timeline of things work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if I could go, I always think that, I don't always think this, that sounds weird. I have thought this previously. If I could go back with the knowledge I have now about
Yeah.
training and all that sort of stuff, I'd be like, I could have gone pro in any sport I wanted to.
Yeah. And so jumping forward to when you were working professionally overseas,
Mm.
what did being a chef give you that you didn't realize that you were chasing at the time?
Um, Competition. I
Yeah.
think that's something people don't realize about kitchens is how highly competitive they are. It's like it is cutthroat in every sense of the word, and it is high pressure all the time, 18 hours a day, just chasing perfection. And like that's the competition is perfection. It's like, how do you make the perfect sauce? How do you make the perfect bit of meat? Like everything at that high Michelin star, 3 Michelin star level. It's like everything has to be perfect. Like there's just nothing. If it's not perfect, it doesn't go out. And it's just, it is the most intense environment you could possibly
Mm.
imagine.
Yeah, I can imagine. And like being so intense, how did that environment kind of shape your relationship with stress and pressure and self-worth now?
I would say, while there are so many awesome attributes I took from the kitchen, in terms of a toxic environment, it's
Hmm.
probably the worst because you are just abused. Like for the whole time you're working, it is, you are shit, you are worthless, you are like, you are not doing good enough, you are pathetic. Like, how do you even have a job? Like, that is just like standard kitchen. That's
Chat.
coming from, yeah, that's just coming from the top. That's not even like the shit you'll talk to other people to try and put them off. Um, so yeah, it is definitely like, for someone who already had mental health issues, it was definitely not the right environment for me for
No.
sure.
How do you think that has helped you now, though?
Um, I think the fact that I got out of it really helped in terms of self worth. I feel it definitely helped me think long term.
Hmm.
Like that's why I got out, because I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be that. Um, but I feel like the damage is probably permanent.
Wow.
I don't think I'll ever, like, my mental health will be probably something I deal with until I die.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
no like cure. It's just learning to deal with it, right?
Yeah. And like I've got significantly better at dealing with it. Like I used to spend months of just like not being able to get out of bed. Like that would be
Yeah.
the win for the day. And now like this last little batch I had lasted for 4 days. And I would say on the scale of 1 to 10, it was like a 2 or a 3 compared to
Yeah.
being like 6 months at a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh. I can't imagine. Yeah, that's a lot. And at what point when you were working in the kitchens overseas did different coping mechanisms turn into something a bit darker? Because you've
Mm.
spoken about this in the past, and it's not a secret. But
No, I'm
when,
super open with it.
yeah, yeah. So when did that turn dark?
Alcohol, I mean, alcohol is so common in the kitchens. Like, chances are, if you see a chef with a coffee mug, it doesn't have coffee in it. Like, that's just,
Yeah,
yeah. So, like, a cup of bourbon in the morning, like, wouldn't be unusual. And that was probably at 18 years old. Um, and that would just be to, actually, to be fair, you'd probably have like about 6 coffees first thing in the morning, and then you would switch to alcohol.
yeah,
Um, But yeah, 18 is probably when alcohol came in. And then when I went to Europe, well, drugs were more recreational, 18, 19, 20. And then when I went to Europe at sort of 20 years old, 21 years old, that's when it was like, okay, like I need a bump to get out of bed in the morning, and I need to do a line to get through service and things like that.
yeah. Because I guess that was just what everyone was doing, right?
Oh, yeah, there's beyond common. Like, if you weren't doing drugs or alcohol, you were the outlier in kitchens for sure. It's the only way to get
Crazy.
through 18 hours a day, 6 days a week. That level of stress, like everyone needs a coping mechanism. Gambling as well, really big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
was
a
it
it's an
around?
awful environment.
Yeah, it sounds awful. Yeah, it just blows my mind. I guess you just don't really know what's happening
Mm.
behind the scenes with a lot of professions. When did the drugs and alcohol stop being kind of recreational, like you mentioned, and start becoming like a survival tool? I know you just said you obviously had to, use it to get out of bed and stuff. Was that
Mm.
an everyday thing, or was
Yeah,
that just when you were tired?
no, but by the end, it was every single day for sure.
Yeah,
Like any sort of addiction, it just starts as I'll do it once, I'll do it once a week, I'll do it once a month, whatever it is, and then it's just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and then by the time you realize you're addicted to it, you're just all in using it, every day, multiple times a day.
yeah. And like, what's going through your head when you're doing that? You don't even care. It's kind of normal, or is this like oh, I shouldn't be doing this, but I need to do it?
No, there was no, I shouldn't be doing it. It's like I thought it gave me a competitive edge, and like I just wanted to compete. I just wanted to be the best, and I was like, if this is what those top guys are doing to get
Yeah,
where they got, I was like, that's where I need to go, and that's what I need to do. So I just looked at it as like a prerequisite to achieve the goals that I wanted. Like, my goal was like, I'm gonna have a 3 Michelin-star restaurant, and I'll do the whole TV and book thing, and like that was the roadmap. And I was
yeah,
like, I know a lot of those. I've worked in a lot of those famous TV chefs' kitchens, and I've met them, and I've spent time with their teams and their crews, and I know all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes and how they got to where they are and the type of people they are off camera. And I was like, I am just ticking the boxes. I am doing what is needed to achieve that goal. So yeah, there was no I don't want to or I shouldn't. It was like I need to do this and I need to do this as fast as possible. And that's the only way I'm going to get ahead.
it's so interesting you say that. Like you saw what they were like behind the scenes, and I'm guessing that was probably a bit darker than what we saw on the cameras.
Mm.
Obviously, without mentioning any names or anything like that. But like, what made you want to become that? If you see them and you're like, oh, this person, as I said, I'm guessing they weren't amazing people. Like, was it just the fame or the money or the fact that they had the Michelin stars? Like, what part of that was so appealing?
It was definitely the Michelin stars was the start.
Yeah.
Like I treated that as like I need to get the Michelin star to get the other stuff. I still don't particularly care about money. I never really have, even though I've made good money over my life and whatnot. I don't care about fame or notoriety or anything. Um, it was just success. Like I think, like even now, like I even said it in that post I did the other day, is like success isn't a cure for mental health. And I thought it's like when I am successful, like all of these problems are going to disappear because I don't have anything to worry about. And that was as a 20, 21 year old, 22-year old, that was or even from 12 or 13, I was like, how do I become successful? How do I achieve that? How do I solve those problems? Um, and for me, it was just success. I didn't now that I'm very, very clear on defining things and being very, very precise on like, this is what I am working towards. But before it was just success, blanket term, however I could get success. If it was a successful restaurant, if it was a TV deal, a book deal, whatever, like that was success. I would just take whatever someone would have given me. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah, it was just success. Oh,
God, that voice really lost it there for a second.
Yeah.
I'm just choking up over your story. When we first did this, episode 1, I actually I'd never heard Matt's story, and it was like a total shock to me because we barely knew each other at the time
Mm.
when we recorded episode 1. So yeah, it's interesting going from then to now and knowing the story and getting more in depth about it. I feel like we're already so much more in depth in the story than we were
Mm.
then. So
Yeah. And every time I tell it, because whenever I do a podcast episode or something and someone wants to know the story, I just get a little
yeah,
bit better at telling it, obviously.
yeah,
I think the first time we did the episode might have been like the second or third time I've ever like
yeah.
spoken the whole thing. So yeah, so now I've probably done it 10 or 12 times.
Yeah, I know. And it's every time it's very interesting because I learn more. But yeah, let's just jump back. You've spoken and you spoke about this in the first episode, but you've spoken about, your depression and suicidal thoughts and things.
Mm.
Were these things running through your head when you were in the kitchen, obviously having to get up every day, but you also mentioned that there have been times where, you've been stuck in bed for months at a time. Do you think that at the time you thought the drugs and alcohol were going to help with your mental health, or your mental health didn't really have the same effect on you back then?
I definitely didn't understand mental health at that age.
Okay, yeah.
I just thought it was me being weak. I guess that's like that typical
Yeah.
men's mental health thing was just like, I was like, I'm working in the best restaurants in the world. I'm living in Italy. I'm living in Paris. I'm living in London. I'm living the chef's dream. And I was at the stage in my career where I could just call a restaurant and be like, hey, I'm going to come work here. Or I could go to a headhunter and be like, yo, find me a job. And I would have worked anywhere in the world. Um, so I just didn't, like, what do I have to be depressed about? Like, that's how my mind worked. And
Mm,
Um, my dad's pretty old school country boy, and like I don't think I've ever spoken about my emotions to him even to this day.
yeah.
So, um, I didn't, I didn't know that men's mental health was there. I didn't know mental health was a thing. I just thought I was mentally weak, and I think that's why I was so competitive. Is because I was like, I don't have the edge that those guys do, so I need to push harder and do more and try and overcome this. So I definitely was I definitely was going through mental health issues in hindsight, but I was just also so headstrong on the goal of success. Like just be successful. Like you cannot let something get in your way. So that's that was I think that was the overriding thought.
Yeah. It's definitely I can see that theme of the country boy, don't talk about your feelings. Growing up in the country myself, I can totally see a lot of people I know in you with
Mm,
that. And I can imagine, the pressure that's put on someone to be like, oh, well, just get over it.
yeah.
So, yeah, that would be really tough. Was there a specific moment where you realized this can't continue anymore and I need to stop? Or was it a slow burn into like, okay, this is getting worse and worse. Maybe I need to stop.
No, it was I think this is where like the newer Matt started to form, but this was like a light switch moment. I could
Yeah.
take you to the exact I was standing at a sink in a kitchen in London. I could take you to the exact spot. I could tell you the person I was looking at. I could tell every detail about that moment. So even now I could like probably describe it to like a sketch artist and get a pretty accurate idea of
Wow.
what it looked like. I remember just watching a head chef abuse an apprentice, just absolutely give it to him, and then walk over and do the biggest line I've probably ever seen. Like, and he was just like, and he was proud of himself, and he was fat and overweight and divorced, and just his whole life was work. And I was like, oh, that's me. Like, if this continues, that guy right there, that's going to be me. And kind of similar to sport at this point, I was like, maybe I'm not going to get the TV deal. Maybe I'm not going to get the Michelin star. Maybe I'm not. There was a little bit of self doubt. And
Yeah.
then I'm very, very good at once the penny drops, I just cut all ties, go out, done. And it was literally at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm done. Packed up my knives and I just booked a flight home. I was home within like 2 or 3 days of like walking out of the kitchen back in Australia.
Crazy.
Mm.
So crazy. I know the kitchen you're talking about. I've actually had lunch there and you could actually hear the chefs, when we were sitting, you could hear them like yelling and stuff. I remember it was like an intense restaurant.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a full on, I guess, seeing the older version of yourself if you continued on the path that you were continuing on.
Mm.
It's so interesting that you just were like, that's it, I'm done. I don't
Yeah.
even care anymore. That the self-doubt almost, and you never really hear this, but like the self-doubt almost saved you in that respect because you went, actually, maybe I'm not as good as I think I am. I don't want to be
Mm.
a part of that. I'm just going to go home. And when you were on the flight home, what was the plan? Like, were you just going to go home
There
to your
was no
parents?
there was no plan. And yeah, it was go back home. Yeah, for sure. Go
Yeah,
back to mum and dad's. Yeah. But yeah, no plan in terms of work. Like I wasn't even sure if I was going to get sober at this point. I was just like, I just don't want to be that.
I just don't
Uh,
need to be here with that environment. Okay.
yeah, yeah, and
And
yeah, go for it.
no, that's okay. Go. I was just
Uh,
going to,
yeah, I was just gonna say, I just didn't want to be him. Like whatever that
yeah.
was in what, and I was just like, on the road I am. There is no exits. There are no, there's no fork in the road. There's no left or right turn. It's just straight highway, 110 kilometers an hour. It's a fat guy over there, and I was like, I do not want that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, pack up my shit, go, no plan, nothing. I was just like, I just need to leave, and that's it. And I was like, if I'm not going to be a chef, then like I didn't know anything else. I had no other skills, no other qualifications, no nothing. Just I was like, I'm just done. I just need to go home. And I think I spent the last of my money on flights home, basically.
Was there not like I guess I've always wondered, was there not a point where you went, I don't want to be that guy. I'm going to leave this job and be better, like get off the alcohol and try and be a chef without all of that? Or was there just no way?
Didn't know never been in a kitchen without it. Didn't know it
Right.
existed. Didn't know it was possible. Also, probably at that point, still wasn't convinced that maybe alcohol and drugs were the issue. As weird as that
Okay.
sounds, I
Yeah.
was just like, I just felt like it was maybe like I could keep the alcohol and drugs and just change the environment, and I'd be a better person. I In saying that, I don't even know if I wanted to be a better person at that point. I just didn't want to be that.
Yeah. You just saw your future and went, nah, see ya.
Yeah, so I don't think there was any more deeper thought than just fuck that guy. I'm never doing that. See ya.
And so, after you kind of got home, when
Mm.
did endurance sport enter your life, and why did it stick when other things, like sports when you were younger and being a
Mm.
chef and stuff, when those things didn't stick? At what point did endurance sport stick for you?
Um, pre COVID. COVID's when it started. When did I do my first Ironman? 2022, 22 or 23. Can't remember now. 22, I
And
think.
yeah, and like, because you signed, do you want to tell everyone why you signed up for the Ironman and what the thought process was there?
Yeah. So I was doing CrossFit at the time, pre-COVID, and my addict. I was sober, relatively sober at this point. Was doing CrossFit. My addiction personality had gone into CrossFit, so I was all in on that. I'd met Sam by this point, and me and a few of the boys saw on YouTube Nick Bear, who runs BPN supplements in America. He was doing his first Ironman, and he was documenting the process, doing one of those, those 20-piece YouTube series, etc. And we were like, "Fuck it! Like we're all gonna do the Ironman." So there's about 4 or 5 of us who were committed to doing it. COVID hit. Everyone sort of went their own way, did their own thing. I lost the gym, so my mental health had just plummeted. Was I was pretty much at the point where I was like, oh, it's just a matter of days until I'm done. Like that's
Yeah,
kind of where I was. Like that's the whole getting out of bed was just impossible. Like a glass of water was a workout. Like that that's sort of the level we were at. Um, and then I got on the scale one day and I was like, it's the first time I'd been like, I was like 105 kilos. And it's the first time I'd been like that big. And I was like, fuck. Like, I remember standing in the spare bathroom, having a conversation with myself. I'm like, fuck, you are just a worthless piece of shit. Like, what are you going to do? You either need to end this or do something about it. Cause my brain was having like a separate conversation from my body where it's like, I can't fucking do this anymore. I'm sick of it. Like, sort your shit out. And I just went, maybe I'll do that Ironman. And I was like, if I can do the Ironman, if I can, no coach, no nothing, I'll just train myself. I'll do all the research. I'll do everything. If I can prove to myself that I can be sober for, I can't remember exactly how long it was between 3 and 6 months. If I can be sober, if I can train, if I can get my diet in order, if I can just be somewhat consistent, I kind of like prove to myself that I can change and I can start to be better. And I was like, and if I don't finish the Ironman, even if I don't make the start line, I was like, that's your signal to yourself that you've given up. And yeah, we'll just make the necessary uh, arrangements. And yeah, so I think let's call it, between 3 and 6 months, I just started Googling like how to train for an Ironman, what is zone two? I need to buy a bike. I need to learn to swim, do all the things. And then booked a ticket to Ironman Western Australia and booked a hotel, and that was it. Went over to WA to do the Ironman.
Yeah. And with the training, was it helping you get up every day because it gave you some purpose? Is that kind of, or was it more just I'm just going to do this and then we'll decide?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely didn't have the purpose that I have now with endurance training. It was
Yeah.
just, um, it was just like, hey, like, are you going to do it or not every day? It's like, and there were days where I didn't train, and the days where I was like, yep, I'm not going to do it, and I don't really care about what the repercussions are. And then there were days, obviously, where I was more motivated and I would do it. In hindsight, there must have been some sort of act of God that got me through that Ironman with how much I trained. I probably trained less for that Ironman, Georgia, than you did for your first Gold Coast marathon with me.
Yeah.
Like, and splitting that across 3 disciplines. So like how I fucking did it, no idea. But yeah, there was no purpose. It was just, this is your decision, yes or no, every day.
Yeah. And during the Ironman, you talk about, in the past, you've always spoken about how you gave yourself an ultimatum for this Ironman, and you
Mm-hmm.
just mentioned it before. Like if you didn't get through the Ironman, you kind of proved that you didn't have that
Mm-hmm.
worth in the world. You gave yourself this ultimatum, and then during the race, something pretty crazy happened. Do you want to tell everyone what happened?
Yeah, so got through the swim, which was like the biggest thing. Or I thought, I was like, if I don't make it through the swim, like that's where the most risk is. Got out on the bike, did about 100, 110 kilometers, and then got a flat, took the tire off, and um, on triathlon bikes, there's tubed triathlon tires and then there's tubeless. So if you get a flat, if you ever change the bike tire, you could pull the tube out. Well, triathlon tires don't have a tube in them, and they have what's called rim tape. So it's basically really, really good sticky tape, goes around the rim, makes an airtight seal. Anyway, either it wasn't put on properly, or when I was taking the tire off, it had pulled the tape and it had torn. And basically, like with those tires, if there's no tape on it, even if you put a tube in it, you can't inflate it. And I was stuck on the side of the road, so I couldn't put a tube in it. And I was just sitting there, and you kind of got to rely on other racers or other athletes to tell someone at the turnaround point at an aid station that, hey, someone's up there and they need a mechanical. Like,
Yeah.
you can't contact anyone. I think I don't remember. This changes every time I tell the story. Maybe an hour on the side of the road, just sitting there in like Western Australian sun, just baking.
Yeah. It would have felt like forever anyway.
Honestly, it might as well have been 3 days, like just stuck out in the desert, basically. Anyway, the bloke comes along, the mechanic comes along, and he's like, fuck, like, I don't know if I've got any rim tape. He's digging through his backpack, and he's got the smallest amount of rim tape left on this like spindle. And he goes, if this covers the tire, it covers the wheel, excuse me. It's like, you're good. If not, your day's over. So like
Yeah.
obviously he doesn't know the ultimatum, but like this whole ultimatum is sitting on whether this guy has enough essentially sticky tape in his
Yeah.
backpack, and he had enough by like a centimeter, like honestly, as close as you can get. And he was like, normally you do 2 or 3 layers. He had enough for one. He was like, it's 50-50. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, so you might get through, you might pop again. And if you pop again, like you're done. I was like, okay. So anyway, got me back off, finished the bike, like got through it. I was taking it, not that I had a lot in the tank, but I was taking it super conservative as it
Yeah.
was. And then got through it. And then I felt like once I was on the run, I was like, even if I've got to walk this thing, there's no way I'm not finishing. So
Yeah.
on the run, I was like, I started to fall in love with endurance sports, and I was like, oh, like this is what I do now. Like this is my thing. So yeah, so I had 42 kilometers of just being like, this is the best day of my life.
Isn't it amazing that that person will never know that they kind of saved your life? And
Mm.
then, yeah.
And
And
if a different mechanic had to come, like they might not have had any. Like
yeah,
you don't normally carry rim tape. It's very unusual for it to go wrong.
yeah. It's incredible that there was someone there, like a, for lack of a better word, a bit of a guardian angel. So
There was, I've said before, I don't necessarily believe in like the visualization and all that sort of stuff, but um, I think something was looking over that day for sure.
yeah,
There's too many
definitely.
things lined up, too many things like just happened to happen where they shouldn't have. Like if an athlete came to me and I saw their training peaks with what I had done for that Ironman, I'd be like, you can't do a 70. Probably some of the guys who are racing at Stockton did more training or more
Yeah.
consistent training. And I was just like, what is
You got
like,
through it.
yeah. And somehow I did an Ironman off it. So
Yeah. And like when you were doing your Ironman, I guess you were just trying, what was the end goal? Were you actually wanting to finish it? Or do you think you were trying to give yourself an end that you could then have like I don't know what the word is, and I don't want to say the wrong word, but
have an
like,
out.
yeah, have an out.
I think going into the race, I did for sure.
Yeah. And
And
then
then,
after the marathon.
but by about 10 Ks into the marathon, it had switched for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. To like, this is all I want to do as often as I can.
Yeah. And so now you've done 5
Hmm.
Ironman. And does the doubt still show up for you for those races? Does it ever take you back to that first ever Ironman, or do you feel
Like,
like you're
can I finish one or?
just the doubt of like whether or not you should be doing it, whether or not you're good enough, like what you spoke about in the kitchen and stuff, how you were just like, you know, I'm never going to be this amazing professional chef, or I'm not going to be like that, so I just need to get out. Like, does that ever show up again?
No, because I'm still getting. I think the biggest change is I now understand, and 33 years old, fucking way to put it together. But the more you train, like the harder you work, the more disciplined you are, like the better you get.
Yeah.
Which is something I was starting to understand in cooking, but like I still didn't really. I was just naturally gifted at it. So I had a pretty good run of like 20, sort of 7 years of life of just the two things I did, I was just naturally very, very good at and didn't have to. While I did work very, very hard, I didn't work hard at getting better. I just
Yeah.
worked hard. And now, like, I understand, hard work and training and discipline and all of those things that they make you better. So I really enjoy the process of getting better. So I don't really deal with that as much
Mm-hmm.
as I do. I'm still competitive and still want to do good. And that's why I set these time goals and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as what it once was.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. And why did you start the Performance Project, and what problem were you kind of trying to solve? Was it something you couldn't find yourself, or what was the overarching reason why you started the Performance Project?
Um, Interestingly enough, had no interest in coaching. I loved coaching myself, and I like learning, and I was, again, my addictive personality. I was all in on learning the science behind it and the methodologies and all the things. And I was sort of posting on social media a little bit, mostly talking about the journey of mental health and like how I'm using endurance sports to like get me through that, etc. And then within the same week, two blokes, both named Pete, messaged me. Um, and Pete 1 and Pete 2, shout out Pete, and said, "Hey, would you train me for an Ironman?" And I was like, I get like I don't know what I'm doing. Like I can all I can do is tell you what I have done, and I think I was when was that? I think I had two finishes and one DNF at this point. I might not have even had the second finish. I might have been one finish, one DNF. Anyway, around there. And I was like, I'll do it just so you know, like I'm learning and blah blah blah. And they're like, yep, sweet, all good. And it just started from there. And then they would post, just word of mouth. Like I don't think I've ever run an ad or said anything about me being a coach outside of Beyond the Finish Line, but just word of mouth. And like I got a couple more and a couple more, and then all of a sudden I had 6 or 7 athletes, and I was like, okay, like I should call this something. And the performance project was born. Like, yeah, there was no intention of starting a business that was going to be what it is today. Like if you compared that to what performance project is now, they're not the same. It's not the same thing. I think I just called it the performance project because I needed an Instagram handle. Like I honestly think it was that. And then
How most businesses start these days.
legit, yeah. I think that maybe the first one or two ones I tried, I think I had like Try Performance. I had Try
Yeah, you did.
Performance.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like the Instagram handle was taken, and then I had the URL, and then I had something else, and I was just like, none of it. I didn't like any of it. So it became the performance project.
Yeah, it did. And when you're coaching people, how much pressure do you feel knowing that people look to you for structure, leadership, and belief within their own training and their lives?
I don't feel any pressure, but I take it extremely seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's many things in my life that I have taken, even like when I was all in on cooking, like I've taken more seriously than I do coaching, because I understand. Number one, I understand that most people have a hidden story that they're probably not willing to share with me, and that's fine. Some people do, but most people don't. Um, I find the majority of endurance athletes have some form of, call it trauma, call it mental health, call it some form of coping mechanism, some form of therapy, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. But they all use it as a tool for something. So I do understand that this is important to them, and I
Mm.
also understand that chances are there is something I don't yet know about them, and that I need to treat it with that guardian angel mentality, so to speak. Like I I need to give them the absolute most respect, and I need to treat it like it's life or death. Like that's on, and I know a lot of that. Some people might hear that and think it's ridiculous, but like that's when I'm thinking about helping athletes achieve their goals and making sure that they stay on track. Then like that's how I think about it. I think about it as like, how do I guarantee, or as close to guarantee, success as possible? And sometimes that means having a hard conversation with them, and sometimes that means giving them a kick up the ass. Sometimes that means they need a bit of love. Um, it's like when Georgia wanted to do sub 4 at Gold Coast, I was like, we are not doing sub 4 at Gold Coast. Like that is setting yourself up to fail. And she was like, fuck you, man. I know what I'm doing.
I was going to say, you've had all of the above conversations with me.
Yeah.
Bit of a hard talk, a bit of love, a bit of everything
Yeah.
else.
So yeah, to answer your question, like I treat it with the just utmost respect and seriousness that I possibly can. And I hope that never stops. And if it does stop, then I will no longer coach.
Yeah. And does it ever, like being a coach or having a business, does that ever trigger your mental health side of your life? Or do you think it's external things that trigger it, or you're still not really sure?
Uh, I definitely, and this is probably, this is, how do I word this? I think coaches that have been coaches for long periods of time learn to distance themselves emotionally from athletes.
Yeah.
So they can be unbiased. And I think there is strength to that. But I am so emotionally invested in my athletes and their goals. Even though I don't necessarily come across emotional, or I might not express emotion particularly effectively, I am so invested. Like Toby's going to race in Kona. Bronwyn's going to race this 50K, her first 50K, and then she's going to do Bondi to Manly. I've got Kayla who's running Noosa 50. Like, I can just rattle off all the events of nearly 100 athletes that we have at the performance rate, even athletes I'm not coaching, and I know what they're doing, I know where they're at,
Yeah.
and it's all I think about. So I think while those experienced coaches learn to distance themselves emotionally, and there is something good with that, I don't necessarily agree. And I like to be all in. And sometimes that can affect my mental health. Like when you didn't get sub 4 in
Yeah.
Sydney, like I was really upset for a few days about that. But on the other hand, when you got your sub 4, I was ecstatic for weeks.
Yeah.
Um,
You can
when,
see that in the doco too.
mm,
You can see how much emotion goes in it for you as well. And um, as you said, like no one really knows that about you. And I experienced that during the Sydney. Like I had no idea that my not getting it affected you, but then when I saw how much it had affected you that I did get it, I was like, oh, okay, like you can really see how much he cares about his athletes.
yeah, I mean, it's I care about your result, the performance project athletes
Yeah.
results more than I care about mine. If I don't know, for example, in WA, if I had to sacrifice something to make sure an athlete finished their first Ironman, and it means I couldn't get my sub 10, I wouldn't even hesitate. I'd be like, cool,
Yeah.
dude, like we're walking this last lap. Like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I will just make sure it happens. And sure, it comes at my detriment and that's upsetting. But at the same time, it's like making sure that they achieve their goals and like they're on their journey is just the most important thing to me in my life.
Yeah. So nice. I love that. All right, let's switch gears a little bit.
Hmm.
From the outside, your life looks really successful. You know, you have the performance project, you've done 5 Ironmans, you're doing ultra marathons, you have a beautiful partner, all of these amazing things. How is that different to your internal reality, or do you feel like kind of what you see is mostly what you get?
I feel like I'm pretty straight down the barrel with most things. I
Yeah.
don't hide an awful lot. Um, I don't think people understand my level of ambition. So while people and Georgia being a business partner of mine, she knows like the stand and the level that I want to get to, and what I
I
just
know
think,
the level.
yeah, and what I think is acceptable and what I think is not. And I think I think if a lot of people saw that side of me, and I would love to share it more, I just don't know how yet. But I think if people saw that level of competitor and that level of ambition, etc., they might be off put. They might be like, he's fucking delusional. And maybe I am, maybe I'm not. But that's I would say yes. To answer the question, yes, appear to be successful, but like again, blanket terms, like what is success? Like we have very,
Mm.
very clear metrics of the performance project, what we want to achieve in 1, 3, and 5 years. We're well and truly on the way to doing that. So I'm at a point in life now where I'm very, very comfortable in terms of success. Like if we just continue on this sort of trajectory, I'm sure I will live a very, very fulfilled life. But I don't want, you know what I don't want? I don't want 14-year-old Matt who missed out on going pro in sports to feel like he could have done better. Like I don't want that feeling, but with business. So like I want to go pro in terms of business. Like I want to build the biggest and the best endurance community in the country, if not the world. And that, so yeah, did that answer the question?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
It did. And there's a couple of other questions here I think will lead into that as well.
Hmm.
So we've got 2 more left to go. Sorry, guys, I wrote a lot of questions down, but I feel like they're nice and helpful. Um, you always talk about doing hard things. What does that actually mean to you now beyond kind of the slogan and the Instagram captions?
Mm. That's a good one. Do hard things for me means don't take the easy way out. I think that's the easiest way to put it. It's
Yep.
like with whatever you do, whether that is making content, doing the podcast, writing an email to a client, responding to a text message, whatever, there's always an easy way and the right way. And I think that the more times I choose the right way or the hard way, the better my life becomes. So that's what it means to me. It means maybe ignoring the easy yes or the easy way out for the hard way through.
Yeah, love it. And then last question, if a younger version of Matt was listening to this episode, what would you want him to hear the most?
That is a good question.
It's a doozy.
Yeah, a young version of me. I would say that your self-worth is not tied to anything but your own opinion of yourself. And no matter what life throws at you, you are strong enough and resilient enough to get through it. You just need to be okay being you need to be uncomfortable being uncomfortable and being patient.
Okay, I love it. And something that everyone else can take home from the episode as well.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, awesome. Well, we have a little bit of time, and I have a couple of questions here from
Listener
our wonderful,
questions?
yes, from our
Cool.
listeners. So, the first one ties into everything you've kind of just spoken about. Bree has asked, where has Matt gained all of his knowledge? Listening to the pod, he's so educated. I have listened to his episode about his past coming from a chef and zero training to athlete he is now. Have you done courses or is it just pure experience? Thanks so much. Love you guys.
Yeah, that ties in well. Mostly experience. I have done a couple of courses and things like that, but this is the benefit of being an addict, guys. Like I can get addicted to anything, including reading. So YouTube, podcasts, articles, all the things, and then just being willing to experiment on myself. And I mean, I am also extremely fortunate where I have nearly 100 athletes that I am constantly running different tests on. So I will give them, I'll be like, cool, I want to try this thing. I'm going to give these 5 athletes this particular training block. And I mean, that's obviously developed as we've gone on, but 70 to 80% of my knowledge was just that opening 18 months from Ironman WA through to the second Ironman WA, and a DNF at Cairns in the middle. Just learn. I probably 12, 14, 15 hours a day. I wasn't even really working at the time. I was just coaching a few athletes and reading, listening, watching every day, nonstop.
Yeah, and I feel like anyone can kind of do a course, right? But on the job knowledge is always better. It's like any industry.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, someone gives you read something about zone 2 and you're like, okay, I understand that. But it's like until you implement it, you don't understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you're kind of forced to do it, you don't really get it.
It's like, Georgia, you could explain to someone, this is how you make content, this is how you make a reel, this is how you do all the things. But until they do it and see the views and the likes and stuff and then go, okay, like this worked, this didn't. And then how do I make it better? Like they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about how much I died in that intro of you saying that. Guys, Matt only says that because he knows that it makes me want to die. So that I just like crawl into a hole. All right, we have a question here from Stacey. She says, I'm a newbie trail runner. Would love to know some of Matt's favorite gear: vest, raincoat, thermals, flasks, and any race tips to ensure that I have the right gear. Any tips for packing the vest as well so that you can fit everything?
Yeah, okay. I'm doing a lot of talking this episode.
You are. This is the last question, so this
Okay.
is all you have to talk. Sorry.
Okay,
I
cool.
thought I'd keep all the questions on you.
That's fine. Cool. So vest, just get Solomon. Solomon's the gold standard. There are not better. There are good cheaper ones, but I think if you're going to get into trail running and you want the longevity, getting a 12-liter pack from Solomon is the best option. Flasks, Solomon make them. I mean, flasks are kind of whatever. Like you can get them on. I've got cheap ones from Amazon. I've got the Solomon ones. I've got ones from all different brands. They're all the same. I would say if you can get one with a wide nozzle, so
Yeah.
you can tip like powders in a little bit easier because some of them have like one that's like the size of a 10-cent piece.
Yeah.
That can be a bit of a pain in the ass, but if you can get one with a wide nozzle, that'd be optimal.
And guys,
Um,
the flasks, just if you're not sure, the flasks are the soft water bottles that go
yep.
in the front of your running vest. Some of them you can get bigger that go in the back, but yeah, Matt's talking about the ones that you slide down the front of your vest.
Yeah, and then so we would call the one that goes in the back of your pack a bladder.
Yeah.
That'd be like a 1 to 2 liter bladder. Again, Solomon, Camelback, all of those brands, they make them like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Just find one that's on special. What else did she ask for?
Uh, just your favorite gear. Like, what's your favorite raincoat, thermals?
Thermals, make sure you get merino wool thermals. Don't get the polyester or poly blend ones. Merino wool, it will dry quicker and it'll keep you warm, keep you cool. It's just the best.
Like a Kathmandu, do you think could be the
Yep.
place to kind of go for that?
Kathmandu, Anaconda. Anaconda's
Yeah.
always got them on sale too. I think I picked before Cozzy. They had, can't remember, it was buy one, get one free or 2 for 1 or whatever it was. In summer, they've always got crazy deals. So if you want to get some, now's a great time. Sam and I stocked up. Raincoat, just make sure it's seam sealed. That's pretty common again at Kathmandu, Anaconda, any of these sort of BCF, any of these sort of camping stores, like they'll have seam sealed raincoats. It's a little bit different to like I say, a Nike spray jacket or something like that.
Yeah.
It just keeps the wind out, and obviously it's seam sealed, so no water can leak in. I'm just trying to think of all the mandatory gear we had for Cozzy. Make sure you get a medical kit, like just a little one for snake bandage and things like that. I'm a big advocate of always running with a snake bandage. I actually didn't on the weekend, and I was freaking out.
Yeah. It can happen to anyone. I saw
Hmm.
even on like TikTok, there was a girl in the mountains, like literally was just walking and got done by a snake and then had to get airlifted out of there.
Yep.
So
Yeah, so
yeah.
always, snake bandage. And then in terms of packing your kit, for just a normal trail run, you shouldn't have so much gear that it's an issue, especially if you've got a 12, anything above an 8-liter pack. But if you're doing, say, a Cozzy 100 or a 50K where there's mandatory gear, I actually vac seal everything. So I roll everything up as tight as I can, and then I'll vac seal it so it goes even smaller, put a label on it, so raincoat, thermals, whatever, and then just put it in the bottom of my pack and then sit everything that I'll actually use, head torch, snake bandage, or want fast access to a snake bandage, spare electrolytes, etc. I just sit that on top.
Yeah. Cool. And then I guess as you're using it, it doesn't matter that it's not vac sealed anymore because you're wearing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, and this is in race conditions, like once you've taken it out of your pack and it's been signed off, and like if you're wearing it in the race, you can just leave it at an aid station with your crew. So
Yeah.
there's that. So then you have to repack it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, Matt. It's always nice to, hear it again. And I hope this kind of format, guys, is a little bit different to episode 1, especially if you've already listened to it. But, some of our long-time listeners probably haven't heard the episode for, a year. So we're pretty much a year on that we first recorded this kind of episode.
I think we are actually. I think we've recorded the first episode last week of January.
It was the day before my birthday. It was the 22nd was our first ever episode. It was just before my birthday. So yeah, we're pretty much a year on, which is awesome. So we thought, it'd be nice to recap, and you guys can, we've done so much more since we first recorded that. So it's really nice. And then next week, you guys will hear...
Better podcasters too.
What?
Better podcasters as well. We actually can control the conversation.
Yeah, instead of me just talking over the top of Matt all the time. And better gear and all that sort of stuff. So we've been wanting to re-record these for a while. I wish there was a way we could kind of pin this to be like, start here.
Yeah.
But anyway, next week you guys will hear from me, and my story is a lot different to Matt's. It's probably not as intense. No, it's definitely not as intense, but that is why we are chalk and cheese, and why, we do what we do and we love what we do. So, thank you so much for listening. Matt, anything else you wanted to say before I sign off?
Check out the Performance Project, links in the bio, one-on-one coaching, trail running, road running, triathlon.
Jeez, I did. Whoa, Joey.
Bruh, it's your business too. What are you
I
talking
know,
about?
I know. I got to play the game. Got to play the game. Thank you so much for listening, guys. This has been episode 52 of Beyond the Finish Line. Make sure you head over to Instagram and follow us at Beyond the Finish Line _pod. Head over to wherever you get your podcasts and make sure you like, subscribe, download, leave a comment, leave a review, share us with a friend. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for listening.
Hooroo.
Bye.